My name is Shannon Pfaffenberger, the Furious Pfaff. So I get Pfaffy, yeah. I roller skated my whole life. So I used to go roller skating with my friends at Wanapauga from like the age of like 9 on. And when I was 21, my skates got stolen from the back of my boyfriend's car. And when I was 40, I said to my husband, like, I really miss my skates. And so for my 40th birthday, he gave me a pair of skates. And so I put them on, and it's like a day had never passed. I just put them on and away it went. And I was playing flag football with one of the women that plays here, and she was like, you should come out and play. And I thought, well, I don't know if I'm ready for a full contact sport. But at that time, there wasn't a lot of places to skate. So I thought, well, if I go to the raw meet and it's not contact, I'll go and see what I can do and get some extra skate time in. And loved it. Absolutely loved it. I was like, when do we get to start being full contact? And yeah, it was fantastic. It was the best decision ever made.
Pfaff is amazing. Pfaff is like such a quintessential part of what makes the Eves of Destruction the Eves. Mm-hmm. She is hilarious. She is just like a joy to be around. She's gonna hit you hard, but then she's gonna like pat you on the shoulder after and be like, you tried your best, like, good for you. But she is just like so positive, so resilient. She coached the A team for a number of years and was just such an important part of making that team competitive and like making us who we are now. So yeah, this sport, this league would not be the same without Pfaff.
Pfaff is a mixture of like your mom, your fun aunt, your coach, and like some like sentient being that doesn't age. She is ageless, and like I think I've heard several people be like, I want to be Pfaff when I grow up. Meaning that like I want to be able to do what Pfaff does when I'm her age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually saw Pfaff at a non-derby related event before I saw her at a derby event. At the time, the partner that I was with was really heavily into mountain biking, and he brought me out to one of the, I don't know, races. And I remember there was this absolutely wild woman who had brought this epic setup. She had like camp chairs, she had blankets, snacks. Pretty sure she brought her own like mini bar to like make drinks. And she was just so boisterous, like full of life. She was amped, even though it was like a shitty, rainy Sunday morning at like 11 o'clock or something. And it just so happened when I got to Derby for the first time, she was one of the 2 people in our league who at the time was championing the fresh and raw meat program. So she was one of 2 people leading that program. And I was just so amped when I saw her. I knew immediately, I'm like, oh, I'm in perfect hands. During sort of the first, I'd say, 5 years of my Derby career, we lived very close in proximity. And so because of that, Pfaff and I found each other sort of close in that way. So if we weren't attending a race together, we were at Derby together, and we'd drive out to Derby together. We'd often do a bunch of skates together, like trail skating. Yeah, and she just really, without getting too weird about it, she had this absolutely lovable maternal energy that just made me feel so welcome and made me feel so supported. And like, no matter what, Pfaff's got my back. So the transition that she went through from being my mentor, my teacher, into my teammate on the track, who I absolutely trusted with my life, to then my coach on the A team when I got drafted. Yeah, it's been a really cool journey to get to be with her the whole time.
Yeah, I've been a Margaritaville in right from the start, which is kind of funny because when I first got here, all of the players that I came to go and do Derby with were all Bells of the Brawl. And so I really wanted to be a brawler. And And on draft night, I got drafted to the Villains, and I went home and I was so upset. I cried in my shower, and but it was like by far the best derby decision for me. Like I feel like it was a really good fit. I just didn't know anybody on that team yet, so I was a little intimidated. And man, they had some really good players. So I was grateful that I was on that team because they had such good players. But yeah, a bunch of my friends were on the other side. So it was a hard night, but I'm really grateful that the Villains did draft me. So yeah.
So the Villains' original, I guess we'll call it uniform, was jean shorts and basically a ripped t-shirt with the logo on it. The original logo, they were like cotton t-shirts we got printed locally in town, and most people like ripped them to crap. And the whole concept was we're kind of dirtbags. We're dirtbag athletes. Back when this sport started, it was not uncommon for people to go out into the parking lot at halftime and like hack a dart and smoke a cigarette. People were slamming beers in parking lots like after the game. That DIY sort of counterculture mentality is still interwoven into the identity of our teams and our league in a lot of ways, but the physicality and the level of sport that we play now, we really take it seriously. A lot of that has sort of culturally faded away. We don't see that so much anymore. But yeah, we are dirtbags, nerds, weirdos. We are a collection of misfits and outcasts who have come together to make this wonderful and weird team that I love so much. So the Villain season this year was, I think, probably the toughest season that I have played with the team. We've had a bit of turnover, so some of our more seasoned veteran players have either retired or needed to take time off or are away on injury leave. And we've had an opportunity to draft some new skaters to build up our team a little bit more. So it's the first time in a while that we have had this sort of big turnover in the team. It was a really good season in the sense that we came together and we really played some great derby, but it was definitely our most challenging yet. We were feeling it on the track, for sure.
It was good. I mean, I've never had a bad season. I've never had a bad season. And that doesn't mean that my team has always won, necessarily, the Calamity Cup, but the season was like a really good one. It was important and it was really good. It was my last one as a player. And the Villains really came together really well and played, and we made it to the Calamity Cup. And I just really wanted to be proud of myself and how I played, because it was my last season. And I'm just really proud of my team. We got there, and man, the Daisy Pushers, they really gave us a run for our money. They're so tough. And they just really wanted their name on that cup, and they came ready. And but it was good.
Yeah, it was a really good season. And yeah, I think that all just comes down to like how well we just like know each other, and like, yeah, like we have just such a really beautiful connection there. And I feel like us as the Pushers, like we're just like so good at like reading each other. And I feel like that's because we spend a lot of time together, and like, I don't know, like we have a really great camaraderie, and we're all kind of like weird. We're like a bunch of sweet little weirdos that like to like hang out. And
I'd like to work on dropping in.
The pushers had an exceptional season. They really, really worked hard and played cohesively. They developed their skaters, their new skaters and their team really, really well, and their leadership was awesome. So I knew it was going to be a very tough game in the final. My pregame is entirely music-based. There's a lot of like big over-the-ear headphone, loud fight music playing. I get myself really psyched up. I actually clean all of my gear before a game, so there's a whole ritual involved where I take all my wheels off, I clean my wheels, I clean my bearings, I like moisturize the leather on my boots, I get everything all prepped and ready to go while I'm sort of envisioning how I'm gonna play and what my strategy is gonna be. And yeah, going into that game, especially because I knew I was playing against some of my favorite people to play with on the track, on the charter team, having to play against Flawless, who I know is like my biggest threat on the track as well as my biggest love. Yeah, I was really trying to get myself mentally prepped for that. It was hard. We really wanted to win the game for FAF. That was like our biggest priority, was how are we going to pull out a final win for FAF?
Yeah, I was really surprised. I wasn't expecting anything until like maybe the after party or like the after thing, but yeah, they gave me a really good send off and a really nice announcement just before the actual game started. So everybody just brought me into the center and said a bunch of really nice things, which I actually couldn't really hear that day, but I got a printout of it and it was really lovely. And I got a really bouquet of flowers, and then afterwards my team was fantastic in the change room, and just, yeah, they're just so good and supportive, and it was really great. It was a fantastic game, and hard-hitting, strategic. That was a good send-off. I don't know, when you have the right players on and you've practiced enough, it's the best feeling in the world when your game is on and your team is playing exactly as they're supposed to be. And sometimes the scoreboard doesn't say that, but you know, with the amount of work that you've put in and the plays that you're working on, that's actually happened, and that's probably one of my favorite things. Yeah, whenever it all comes together. wish we won. But I wanted to bookend wins because the first year that I was a villain, we won it. So I was like, if we could bookend those, just my career, that would be great. But the Daisy Pushers definitely, they brought it. But I think the villains are gonna try to get them next year, so we'll see what happens.
It was rough. It was sad. It's like a big end of an era. Yeah, it's just having that, like knowing she was there on the track meant a lot. So it was tough. But I know she's not going anywhere. I know she's still gonna be here, but.
Yeah, I just retired contact. But I'm going into the roughing side of things now, so I still get to be on my skates and I still get to be a part of the community because I couldn't imagine not being part of the community. So, but yeah, 12 years is a lot on the body after 40. So, and hopefully I'll be able to do some bench coaching maybe. Slicer is a bench coach, so who was the person who actually drafted me in the first place. She was the captain of the Villains back then. So I'm hoping that Slicer and I can bench coach the Villains together and line run and bench coach and be a team just to help them get to what their goals are. So that'll be fun. And I get to watch all the levels play instead of being a player. So now I actually get to focus on what they're doing out on the track and getting to see them improve like every week and get better and stronger and seeing what they're doing. So it's great. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. So and it's not even just on the track. Like there's so many people in our league that are like best friends and like watching, like there's people who were on my team as villains who had babies and kids and left and are now back again. So you see all these people and they're living their lives but also still being able to enjoy this fantastic sport and have like their own thing to do at the same time. Yeah, kind of takes a like-minded group of people to play this sport. So it's interesting because there's so many people from different walks of life and different backgrounds and different ideals, and they all come together to make this machine of the Eves of Destruction run. And they all do it with like passion for the sport and compassion for each other. And yeah, it's really good. Like you can you can have a really, really bad day and come to Derby and just talk to two people and get like the biggest, best hugs and then go out and smash each other and go home and think, oh man, am I ever glad I came? You know, like on days when I think I shouldn't go to Derby and I go, I'm always glad I did. Yeah. The thing I love the most is that like, I'm 55, right? So, and I am playing with people who are like 19 years old and we all love the sport and we all are supporting each other. And so I learned so much about everybody else's lives and what's going on. And I just think like it's made me a better person because I play with so many different people who are going through so many different things that I would never have come into contact with or known about or learned about if I wasn't in the sport. And everybody is so open to learning about each other that I think that's probably my favorite part of it. I mean, being on wheels and having the wind going through your hair and gearing up and putting that Derby personality on is fantastic. But when it really gets down to the basics of it, it's the people. It's great. I've learned a lot.
We have come so far and played so long as this team that this is just a beautiful opportunity for us to get to kind of start over and start to build something new, but at the same time keep that same culture and identity that is so very FAF. Like, I think we can't go wrong as long as we always steer back towards FAF.